Hello everyone, myself Ketan Bhavsar, Assistant Professor in LJ Engineering College, Ahmedabad. In image specific subject, we today discuss about image segmentation and also we discuss about different types of image segmentation technique and what exactly the segmentation technique is that we will discuss in detail and what exactly the role of segmentation in image processing that we also discuss. Now, the first question arises in our mind that what is image segmentation? Means we're talking about what is image segmentation. So, image segmentation is really used to divide the image into the constitution region or objects. Or in simple word, we can say that divide the image in terms of meaningful region. It's called as an image segmentation. When we're talking about the image segmentation, then ultimately we are dealing with dividing the image into the submodules, and we can say that divide the images in sub techniques, or we can say that divide the image in terms of meaningful manner. Now, the process stops when the object of interest has been isolated. Means you have to divide the image, but you have to stop a particular this process of segmentation when your object is identified, or we can say that the meaningful region is extracted. In terms of accuracy point of view, this is one of the resulted parameters that we can take when we discuss about accuracy point of view, or we can say that it is one of the parameters in terms of the resulted point of view. Based on one or two properties of intensities value or discontinuities and similarities based we can identify. So when we're talking about the segmentation, then ultimately we have to deal with the different types of image properties. And it can be a discontinuous type or it can be a continuous type. So when we're talking about discontinuous type, then we have to deal with a age-based concept. We have to deal with the boundary-based concept. We have to deal with a discontinuity-based project or discontinuity-based content. And when we're talking about the similarity-based content, then we're dealing with a region-based content. In terms of region, to identify the meaningful content or to identify the meaningful data, it's called as a region-based content. Now, when we go into the depth, so we see the different types of segmentation methods and techniques, as you can see when we're talking about discontinuity type images. It can be a point segmentation, a line-based segmentation, and age-based segmentation. So mainly we have to focus on these three types of segmentation technique when we're talking about the discontinuity types: point-based, line-based, and age-based. When we see in practical application, then age-related discontinuity is one of the most popular method as compared to line and point-based method. Because when we are dealing with age-based concept, then we have to deal with boundaries, or we dealing with the area, or we dealing with the region-based content. So basically, in terms of the age-based content, we have to follow main four algorithms that we have: Sobel, Kenny, Privet, and Robert. These are the main four algorithms that we are dealing when we are discussing about age-based segmentation. So ultimately, we have a different types of segmentation method that we have to deal ultimately when we are talking about a discontinuity type segmentation method. And similarly, when also we have some few methods which is related to a region-based too. Means in terms of the region-based, we are talking about age-linking based concept. See, age-linking is nothing but it is one of the part of a Kenny algorithm. Because in practical application, Kenny is one of the most popular algorithm which is used for extracting a region or meaningful content. So ultimately, when we are dealing with a concept or when we are dealing with a segmentation approach, then we are dealing with an age-linking based concept. Then we're talking about the similarity-based content. In terms of the similarity-based content, we have to dealing with ultimately continuous type of the data, or in terms of the continuous type of the data, we're talking about the region growing, region splitting, and region merging-based content. So ultimately, when we're talking about the segmentation approaches, then we have to dealing with this type of the methods too. So gray level based discontinuity have a different methods. In terms of the assembly based age linking have a different methods, and similarity based have a different methods that we had seen in this particular video. Now the type of image segmentation means there are the few methods that we have that we can use for the segmenting the images. As you can see, thresholding method, region based method, water-shaded method, k-means clustering, template matching, wavelet-based transformation method, and etc. So basically, when we're talking about the image segmentation, then ultimately we have dealing with different types of segmentation methods and different types of segmentation techniques too. In terms of thresholding method, region-based method, water-shaded techniques, k-means clustering, template matching, wavelet-based transform, or there are a number of image segmentation methods still available over here, but we are considering few of them as per our syllabus. And the most popular image segmentation technique, as you can see, is a thresholding method or thresholding technique. Now, thresholding. So one of the most popular techniques in terms of the image processing is called as a thresholding. Now, what is thresholding? So thresholding is usually the first step in any segmentation approach. Means in terms of any segmentation method, we have to deal with the thresholding based content. In this session, we discuss a technique for partitioning the image directly into a region based or intensity value and property of this particular value. So whenever we are talking about a thresholding based technique, then ultimately we have to deal with a technique in terms of the partitioning the image and also in terms of the intensity value based or property based technique. And one way to extract the object from the background is selected by the threshold. So see, whatever the data you want to extract or you want to retrieve from the image or you want to fetch from the image, then ultimately thresholding is play a main role to differentiate the background and object. So we are getting the better data in terms of the object point of view and also from the data point of view. So we can extract the information and we can remove the background using the segmentation based technique. So any point in terms of x, y in the image at which f of x, y is greater than t is called as an object point, otherwise it will be called as a background. In terms of the thresholding based technique, we are dealing with the point processing based concept that we already seen in chapter number 2. See, when we discuss about the point processing based concept, then ultimately we have to take one threshold value t. In terms of the gray level, we have a range of t from 0 to 255, right? And when we discuss about a black and white image, then we have a range of 0 to 1. So ultimately, we have to take a thresholding t, and t is play a main role as a thresholding pointer. Suppose you have one particular matrix, and a range of matrix image is from 0 to 255, right? And if you are taking the 5 cross 5 matrix or 5 cross 5 cross matrix image, then and you said the thresholding is 128. So ultimately, if it is greater than 128, then it converts into the white and remaining all are converting black. So it is a concept of the thresholding based content or thresholding method. Now similarity approach. Pick a threshold value t. T is a threshold in terms of the Gaussian value you can fetch. Pixels above the threshold, it create a new intensity A, and pixel above the threshold, you get a new intensity B. In terms of the allow and below, you can differentiate in two parts, as I already told you, in terms of the black portion and in terms of the white portion. So ultimately, if it is greater than 128, then it convert into the white, and if it is less than 128, then convert into the black. So this process is going on in similar manner until the process is not end. And if we have to convert the data, ultimately each and every region, each and every matrix, or each and every intensity value. Now we discuss about types of thresholding, that different types of thresholding we have. Like we have mainly three types of first, local thresholding. Second, as you can see, we're talking about adaptive thresholding, and we're talking about the global thresholding. So these three techniques we have mainly in terms of the type of thresholding process. So now we go into the depth and see each and every techniques, that what exactly the use of local thresholding, adaptive thresholding, and global thresholding in depth. and make sure that this technique is playing a main role for extracting the meaningful region or meaningful data. Now, first thing that we discuss about local segmentation and local thresholding techniques. So threshold T is depends on the f of x comma y. F of x comma y is nothing but it is your matrix, or you can say that a matrix value. It means only on gray level value. Local thresholding is to satisfactorily examine the intensity value of the local neighborhood of each pixel. So based on the local thresholding, we have to take a pixel value which is nearby a matrix, or we can say that which is nearby a pixel value range. So the statistic which is most appropriate depends largely on the input image. So mainly when we're talking about thresholding based technique, then ultimately we have to discuss about thresholding in terms of a neighborhood image processing, and depends largely on the input images. Now next we're talking about the adaptive thresholding. In terms of the adaptive thresholding, the threshold T is depends only on f of x comma y. It means only on gray level value. So adaptive thresholding change the threshold dynamically over the image value or over the image intensity value. This is more sophisticated version of the thresholding can accommodate changing light conditions in the image. It means those occurring as a result of a strong illumination gradient or shadow. So in terms of the adaptive thresholding technique, we can say it is much more better than the local thresholding technique, and it will give you an advanced approach as compared to the existing one. Now we're talking about the next in terms of the global thresholding. The thresholding is depends on the spatial coordinate x and y, and it's called as a dynamic thresholding. Next, we can say that in terms of the global thresholding, it depends on the range, or we can say that it depends on the window that we have in terms of x and y. Adaptive thresholding change the threshold dynamically over the image. So it will change the value according to our image value that we have. So these more sophisticated versions of the thresholding can accommodate changing the light conditions in the image. It means occurring on the strong and shadowing portion. So I hope that you are getting the idea about the different types of segmentation technique and different types of segmentation method. Still, if you have any doubt in image segmentation specifically for the thresholding, then you can tell me or you can contact me on my mail ID. And I hope that you are getting the idea about what exactly the segmentation is. In the next session, we discuss about the different types of segmentation method and its technique in depth. So I hope that you like the session, and still if you have any doubt, then you can contact me. So thank you for watching.